What is a friend? If someone asked you to define friendship, what would you say? We might say that a friend is someone you choose to have in your life. You can't pick your family, but you can pick your friends. We might say that a friend is someone you feel affection for, someone you trust, someone you have an emotional connection with. We might also say that a friend is someone with whom you share mutual obligations. We go to a friend's birthday party even if we don't really feel like it in the moment. If we skip the party, that person won't want to be our friend much longer. We show up for our friends, and they show up for us. But if you ask someone in Jesus' time, what is a friend? You would hear a very different answer than ours. The author of the Gospel according to John was familiar with Greek and Roman philosophy as well as Judaism, and he incorporated these concepts into his definition of Jesus. John's depiction of Jesus Christ as the Logos, the Word of God, the creative power and energy of God, that is straight out of Greco-Roman philosophy. For the ancient Greeks and Romans, a friend is someone with two particular qualities. First, a friend speaks frankly, boldly. A friend will disagree with you, even challenge you. That's how you know they are on your side and putting your interest first. A friend will take unpopular positions and sometimes oppose the authorities because of their commitment to integrity. Someone who flatters you and always tells you what you want to hear is trying to use you for their own gain. They're not really a friend. Second, for the ancient Greeks and Romans, a friend is someone who will lay down their life for you. Plato talks about this in the Symposium. The most exemplary friends in the ancient world, the friends you really want to have, don't just speak boldly or talk about laying down their lives. They do these things. A true friend acts boldly and really does lay down their life for their friends. The late New Testament scholar Gail O'Day says that Jesus is this kind of friend. You've probably gotten tired of me saying that we need to use a wide-angle lens when we read the Gospel according to John. When we zoom in on 8 or 10 verses, we miss the context of those verses. And it's the context that gives the passage its meaning. Jesus says these words about friendship during the Last Supper. But if we go back to the very beginning of his public ministry, we see that Jesus has been a friend all along. The first thing Jesus does in public is to create a disturbance in the temple in Jerusalem. He flips over tables, drives the money changers out, lets the animals and birds loose. Then he waits for the temple authorities to find him and question him. It's the first time that Jesus acts boldly, acts out of conviction, and then speaks frankly to those in power, but it isn't the last time. He challenges the religious authorities again and again in John's gospel with bold speech and action. And Jesus speaks frankly to his disciples, not just to his opponents. That's what he's doing at the Last Supper. He says to the disciples that he is leaving them. He'll be with them only a little while longer. It's painful for them to hear, but Jesus believes the disciples deserve the truth. He is leaving. They will have to live without him. Then Jesus teaches the disciples everything they need to know to go on without him. 4.5 chapters of teaching. He tells them to abide in him, to stay connected to him, as he abides in the Father and the Father abides in him. Servants don't know what the master is doing, but Jesus has made known to the disciples everything he has heard from the Father. So he calls the disciples friends, because in his bold speech and action, he has been their friend. Not only does Jesus speak frankly and act boldly, he is willing to lay down his life for his friends. Not only is he willing to lay down his life, he actually does lay down his life. He has given hints of this when he described himself as the good shepherd who braves the wolves to find the lost sheep. The hired hand, the false friend, runs away at the first hint of danger. But the good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. No one takes the good shepherd's life from him. He has power to lay it down and power to take it up again. The hour has now come for Jesus' death, resurrection, and ascension, and he goes to his death willingly. He chooses to lay down his life. He doesn't have to. He goes to the cross willingly, out of love for his friends. And in doing so, Jesus truly is the disciples' friend. Jesus speaks and acts boldly. He lays down his life for his friends, for the disciples back then and for us today. And in calling the disciples his friends, in calling us his friends, he asks us to be the same kind of friend that he is, to speak frankly and back up our words with action, and to lay down our lives for each other. We go to each other's birthday parties too. Showing up for each other is certainly part of the ancient definition of friendship. But this is both more demanding and more rewarding than our modern day form of friendship. It's more demanding because friendship makes you put yourself in danger. A true friend is out there in the world making themselves vulnerable for the sake of others. It's more rewarding because this kind of friendship is lasting. Friends who trust each other enough to speak the truth, who risk themselves for each other, have a lifelong bond, one that endures and thrives no matter what, one that's worth laying down your life. How do the disciples do it? How do they be this kind of friend? How do we do it? By abiding in Jesus, abiding in his love. Right before Jesus calls the disciples his friends, he tells them, I am the vine, you are the branches. A branch cannot bear fruit unless it abides in the vine. The branch has to stay connected to the vine. In the same way, the disciples can't bear fruit unless they abide in Jesus. As long as the disciples stay connected to Jesus, like branches connected to a grapevine, he will be with them, even after he's no longer physically present. The disciples abide in Jesus by remembering and talking about his words, by keeping his commandments, by gathering together for prayer and community, by loving one another as Jesus loved them. When the disciples do those things, when we do those things, Jesus gives us what we need to bear the fruit of friendship. There's something else that helps us be the ancient kind of friend. There are the friends Jesus has given us, who speak boldly to us and are willing to lay down their lives for us. As I've been reflecting on friendship this week, I've been thinking of my friends, David and Wiley. The three of us met at a conference for priests 8 years ago, and we knew right away that we had found our people. David is in Washington State, Wiley's in Florida, I'm in Ohio, so we do video calls once a month and get together in person for a week every summer. These two are friends in the way we usually think of friends. We chose each other, we have an emotional connection, we show up for each other, yet they are also friends the way that Jesus is a friend. Wiley and David love me enough to tell me when I've messed up, and when I've done something praiseworthy too. They won't flatter me so they can manipulate me. When I have had to speak boldly, have been afraid to do it, They helped me find the right words. They prayed for me. They texted to ask how I was doing and to say, call us if you need to talk. And they rejoiced with me when I finally did it. When I need them, they'll drop everything to be there for me. They don't have to do that. They choose to. They teach me constantly how to be a friend. And in their frank speech and self-sacrificing action, I experience the friendship of Jesus. Who are those people for you? How do they help you be a friend who speaks and acts boldly and lays down your life for others? How do your friends show you the friendship of Jesus? Our human friendships, at their best, give us a glimpse of Jesus' friendship, of the friend who treats us as equals and loves us enough to speak the truth and lays down his life for us. Because Jesus is our friend and we abide in him as he abides in us, we can be friends to others, spreading the love and bold speech and self-sacrificing action of Jesus to the whole world.